For decades, humanity thought it possessed a general sense of the universe's size. We tallied music galaxies, gauged distances, constructed models, and grew assured enough to assign figures to eternity. But that entire assurance, music, rested on an unspoken premise that what we observed was the bulk of what was there. Then the James Webb Space Telescope performed something misleadingly straightforward. It aimed at nothingness. No stars, no nebulae, just obscurity. And what returned was not void, but immense plenitude. Hundreds of thousands of galaxies concealed in a spot we believed was almost empty. In that instant, the universe not only enlarged, it grew mentally unmanageable. Distances ceased acting as we expected they would. Time no longer aligned through space. Whole sectors of music, reality drifted forever beyond grasp. Webb didn't merely broaden the cosmic map. It disclosed that we exist within a small, fleeting bubble of comprehensibility, encircled by a cosmos that is largely unseen, largely unattainable, and largely apathetic. Music to our quest for purpose. This isn't a tale about figures. It's a tale about what transpires when magnitude turns so immense that it shatters music, our modes of thought. When researchers chose where to direct the James Webb Space Telescope, one of their most daring decisions was also music, the least intuitive. They directed the most potent telescope ever constructed toward a sky region that seemed nearly entirely vacant. Earlier surveys with music, the Hubble Space Telescope had already examined this precise area, a minuscule zone no bigger than a sand grain at arm's length. Hubble's renowned music deep field picture uncovered about 10,000 galaxies there, a staggering count back then, and music altered our perception of the universe's density. But Webb was engineered to detect what Hubble couldn't. It could sense infrared light, the type emitted by the farthest music galaxies whose wavelengths got elongated by space's expansion itself. So experts took a risk. They instructed Webb to gaze at that identical sky patch for 250 hours, over 10 consecutive days, music gathering every dim photon possible, gradually assembling an image from signals scarcely separable from static. When the ultimate music picture coalesced, it demolished all predictions. Rather than 10,000 galaxies, music, Webb uncovered 797,942. Almost 800,000 galaxies lurked in what had music appeared as shadow. Each one a vast assembly of billions of stars. Every star, music, possibly orbited by planets, all hidden merely because we'd been observing with the incorrect sort of vision. The jolt wasn't merely the count alone, but its implications. If Hubble had spotted only around 10,000 galaxies, music, where almost 800,000 truly were, then visible light studies had overlooked about 98% music of the actual content. This wasn't Hubble's shortfall. It transformed astronomy and remolded our cosmic grasp. But Hubble focused mainly on visible wavelengths, and much of the remote universe no longer radiates detectable visible light. As space enlarges, light elongates, music shifting into infrared ranges that Hubble just couldn't perceive. The galaxies weren't ever missing. Music, they turn invisible due to our constrained tools. And that insight holds a profounder teaching. Reality doesn't contract to match our devices. Our devices dictate how much reality we can presently music sense. When the instruments shift, reality doesn't adapt softly. It erupts in intricacy. Void transforms into profusion. Shadow brims with form. And if we music aired that disastrously about one small sky segment, it powerfully implies we might be equally mistaken about far broader presumptions we've held about the entire universe. Once it sank in that nearly 800,000 galaxies hid in a sky patch once deemed almost vacant, the ramifications started spiraling well past one lone image. Existing approximations indicate the observable universe holds music between 200 billion and 2 trillion galaxies somewhere. But those figures relied on surveys that omitted about 98% of what James Webb exposed in that single area. If that error margin holds elsewhere, then the actual galaxy count might not be trillions at all, but tens of trillions or even hundreds of trillions. Numbers so huge they cease as quantities and turn into music abstractions the human psyche can't grasp. Each galaxy holds on average some 200 billion stars. Multiply by even the modest end of these fresh estimates, and the outcome bursts into amounts with more zeros than our minds develop to handle. And each star could harbor planets, perhaps Earth-similar realms, with chemistry playing out on innumerable stages. Here, scale ceases to inform and starts to unsettle. The universe isn't merely big. It is big in a manner that swamps instinct, obliterates ratio, and renders the notion of size meaningless. This is where scale's real effect unveils itself, not as a technical fact, but as an existential burden. The figures James Webb compels us to face act like assault on human proportion, swamping a brain evolved to tally sustenance, visages, and days, not galaxies and cosmic epics. When faced with counts like hundreds of trillions of galaxies, the mind doesn't grasp them. It overloads, noting only that the universe is unfathomably immense. At such magnitudes, meaning music starts to splinter. Links across most existence turn impossible. You remain confined in a minuscule zone ringed by endless things you'll never access. The insight is harsh and inescapable. The universe is too immense for your deeds to spread past your minor world. Too expansive for your existence, music, to matter on any cosmic measure. This isn't symbolic teeniness, but literal, calculable, inevitable teeniness. Yet this encounter doesn't inevitably conclude in hopelessness. It requires modesty. It compels acceptance that what we sense is music, ever fractional, ever unfinished, and that the universe owes us no understandability. James Webb didn't merely stretch music, the universe further. It thrust the human psyche against the brink of what it can sentimentally handle, disclosing that scale can itself be a limit no telescope can surmount. As experts kept dissecting the data surge from James Webb, something even more disturbing surfaced, something much more disruptive than big figures or concealed plenty. Webb wasn't only locating more galaxies. It was locating the incorrect galaxies in the incorrect period. Among them was a especially worrisome entity. A galaxy whose light issued when the universe was merely around 290 million years old, scarcely, music, 2% of its present age. By all we believed we understood, this galaxy shouldn't exist like that. It was too luminous, too hefty, and music too orderly in structure to have arisen so swiftly. It held hundreds of millions of solar masses and stars, all seeming to have gathered in what equals cosmic moments. Our galaxy formation models depict music, a gradual, slow progression spanning hundreds of millions of years, where tiny, faint forms slowly combine and expand. But this galaxy ignored that narrative completely. It showed up fully shaped, developed, and boldly there in a newborn universe that lacked enough time to construct such a thing. The find pushed scientists into an awkward spot because the issue wasn't an absent factor or small fix. The issue was the timeline no longer added up. Initially, skepticism ruled the reaction. Scientists doubted the equipment, readjusted readings, and presumed mistake as the sanest account. Such data is perilous because it endangers core premises, and the securest response is always music doubt. But the verifications kept returning sound. Readings were validated. Redshifts were affirmed. The signal was genuine. Music, and worse, it wasn't solitary. James Webb exposed hundreds of akin galaxies, all too big, too radiant, and too advanced for their evident age. One improbable item could be rejected as oddity. Hundreds couldn't. The verdict grew inevitable. Our models for galaxy formation are basically deficient. The primordial universe wasn't serene or structured. It was much more dynamic, much more productive, and much more fierce than we'd pictured. Star creation occurred quicker. Form, music arose earlier. The tidy chronology we depended on was a soothing invention. And each time James Webb peers deeper back, it uncovers more proof that the universe ignores our predictions. This isn't science's defeat, but a cue of its essence. Grass must be clutched loosely because proof advances. James Webb didn't just insert fresh data. It bared fissures in the base, disclosing music, that the cosmic origins tale is still unfolding, and that much of what we deemed understood was merely a provisional estimate. At first look, the reasoning music appears straightforward. If the universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old, and nothing exceeds light speed, then the utmost we should see is 13.8 billion light-years distant. But James Webb compels us to face that this gut feeling is utterly mistaken. The observable universe's true boundary sits about 46.5 billion light-years away every way, creating a sphere almost 93 billion light-years wide. The cause isn't superluminal motion, but space's expansion itself. When old galaxies sent the light we view now, they were much nearer to us. But over the billions of years that light, music journeyed toward Earth. Space kept stretching, pushing those galaxies farther while the light remained en route. The text likens this to sprinting on a treadmill, advancing while the belt below drags you rearward simultaneously. Light battles music toward us, but cosmic growth continually extends the span it must traverse. And this music growth isn't decelerating. It's speeding up, propelled by dark energy, comprising about 68% of the universe's total. As space enlarges, more dark energy emerges, spurring even greater growth in an uncontrolled cycle with no innate halt. The outcome is a cosmos whose music, actual scale can't be deduced from light solely, and where distance acts in manners that outright defy human gut sense. This speeding expansion, music, forms a barrier that no tech, no scope, and no duration can breach. The cosmic horizon. Past this threshold, galaxies retreat from us quicker than light. Not from speeding through space impossibly, but because the space amid us and them enlarges too fast for their light to ever arrive. Any light they music release from now on is eternally forfeit to us. Those galaxies persist, but they're perpetually undetectable, sealed behind an uncrossable line. Every instant, more galaxies cross this horizon and vanish from our observable cosmos, gone forever. The text portrays a future where, billions of years hence, Milky Way observers will see solely our fused galaxy with Andromeda and a few close companions, as the universe's remainder dims into shadow. Future experts will lack Big Bang proof, no means to rebuild cosmic past, oblivious they dwell in relics of something once immense. This is why our era is singular. We exist in a short cosmic interval when the universe yet discloses itself. And it's also why reality seems broken. Each viewer resides in their own observable sphere, a zone set by light's travel time. These spheres intersect, but aren't the same. Whole societies might thrive past our horizon. Enacting music, complete sagas will never sense, never link, never verify. There is no cosmic, music, universal now, no mutual present, only detached chronologies divided by music expanse and growth. Snorts, James Webb didn't merely show the universe is music, larger than we believed. It disclosed that much reality is eternally inaccessible and that our cosmic knowledge, music, is limited not by wonder or wit, but by space and time's core framework. What James Webb disclosed isn't just that music, the universe exceeds our prior thoughts in size, but that it's larger in a manner that forever alters how music reality functions for us. We found that apparent empty space was never vacant, that we saw only a small share of what music truly is, and that our cosmic gauges rested on instruments that music sieved out most reality. We discovered that figures can swell so vast they cease in forming and begin unsettling, that galaxies can be where our ideas say they shouldn't, and that the music universe ignores the chronologies we meticulously built to comprehend it. And ultimately, we had to confront music, the most disturbing fact of all, that we dwell in a bounded music transient sphere of knowability, ringed by huge existence swaths we'll never access, never view, and never confirm exist. James Webb didn't merely stretch the universe further. It disclosed that reality itself, music, is incomplete. No lone full cosmic vista exists. Every viewer is confined in their own observable music boundary, viewing aged light from a bygone that ceased long ago. While distant galaxies' music present unfolds eternally out of reach, there is no universal now, no joint instant through space. Only intersecting time, shards, music, pieced by light already billions of years old upon arrival. The snorts universe isn't just colossal, it's splintered, and much slips from us eternally as growth quickens and galaxies fade past. Music, the cosmic boundary. Yet this isn't a tale of irrelevance. Magnitude doesn't set worth. The universe might be apathetic, but awareness is scarce. As far as we can verify, life thrives on precisely one world in one minor niche of one observable sphere during a short phase when a universe yet permits visibility. That renders this instant remarkable, not because we're cosmic core music, but because we're its observers. We live in the slim interval when the universe remains legible, when its past hasn't yet slipped music past the boundary, and when queries can yet hold answer hope. James Webb proved we're tinier than ever conceived, but also that this teeniness doesn't obliterate purpose. It hones it. You won't claim the entire music universe. You claim this instant, this world, this reality bubble and its inhabitants. And that's not nil. That's all you'll ever access. So I wonder what this music insight does to you. Does realizing you dwell in an observable sphere make you feel trivial? Or does it, music, urge you to better steward the small cosmic niche you can truly impact? Share in the comments. And if this shifted your reality view, be sure, music, to subscribe because the cosmic tale keeps evolving and we're fortunate to witness it. I'd love to hear what you think about this, so drop a comment below. If you enjoyed our conversation today, please share this video and subscribe to help the channel grow. Every bit of support counts.